This is Frankie Abbruzzino with the Scoop News. Okay, I'm going to try this new approach. Normally I do a live daily show, but I've noticed that I do live so that A, I like doing live, and B, you can see all the questions and people, it's interactive. I decided to do it this way. A, it's more interactive. I can show you visual stuff, and that's only it. There is no B. It will still be unscripted. I don't have any script in front of me. I'll just be looking at the screen, which you'll see because I'm going to put it up on the monitor here. And so it's ad lib. Take it as it comes. See what happens. So let's go ahead and get started with the first story, which is out of Northport. There's actually a couple stories out of Northport. Northport's strong today. Unfortunately, in a bad way, this poor kid, he's been missing since last night. I've checked Northport's updates. Haven't seen anything. And he's basically a juvenile. I think he's 12, 80 pounds, brown eyes, dirty blonde hair. Last seen around Cranberry, around the 2700 block yesterday at 4:30. Northport police ask you if you can give them a call at 429-7300 if you see the individual. Again, I've looked and I didn't see anything. It's getting a lot of shares, a lot of action out there from individuals. Keep it up. I'm sure his parents are worried senseless right now. And, you know, I'm not sure if he just got in a fight with mom and dad and left, but either way, he's a young kid that should be brought back home. All right, these guys in Northport, they decided to go out, and you got to love Josh. He's the media guy there, and he says, light up the internet by passing around and putting out these cig snatchers. They basically went to Walmart, grabbed 2 cases of cigarettes with 30 cartons of cigarettes, $6,000. 429-7300 if you have any information. It was actually 3 people. It was these 2 guys and this 3rd guy right here. And they took off. Oh, I don't have the car, but the car was a black Dodge Durango. So be on the lookout. They're still trying to find these 3 individuals. This was a report also out of Northport. And I came up on it because I was doing a daily arrest log and I saw a homicide. And I forgot to put his name up. After this report, I'll put his name up. I don't know how that slipped through me. Basically, this guy's being charged with homicide, second-degree murder, dangerous, depraved, without premeditation, accessory after the fact, and then possession of a weapon or ammo by a convicted felon. At first, I thought it was the individual down here, the Marquise Chapa Harris, and it's the same one, and with additional charges. But when I went and looked, obviously, it's a different individual. And again, I'll put his name up there, but you can just tell by the face. And what I'm thinking is the guy here, Marquise, if you haven't heard the story, he basically pistol whipped some guy and then shot him point blank in the head. And this guy, I'm assuming, was there, and it was on Roxbury, and he did nothing about it. So therefore, he was part of the crime. Now, that's just assumption. I'm just off the police report. But as we learned the other day, you can't go off the police report. That guy out in South Venice, they said he had 3 counts. One of them was sexual battery, I believe, on someone that was 12 or older. That's it. And no bail. So automatically you think a child, no bail, a child, 12 or older. Ends up being a 43-year-old woman who is his wife. And, you know, you're thinking, you're reading and interpreting this stuff. There couldn't have been a different charge on that. That was ridiculous. And I found out because somebody contacted me and I did some more research to find out that it was the 43-year-old wife. So the homicide on Roxbury, and again, if you don't know what this is all about, it was over drugs and money. So I'm not sure. My mom lives there down in Northport, my mother-in-law, my nieces. However, I don't know what Roxbury's all about, but I'm suspecting right where these guys are, it wasn't that great. Now, there's a video. This is in regards to Puerto Rico. And one thing I always tell people is remember Puerto Rico is a U.S. territory. They're U.S. citizens. And we need to take care of them. They're in dire need, folks. SNN's covering one of the relief efforts out there, and there's a few. Let's see if we... Disaster relief, its very own employees are struggling in Puerto Rico. UNA is collecting non-perishable goods as well as cleaning supplies, pet... So, you know, they go into what they're trying to collect and all that good stuff. There's another one, Agape, they're going out there. These guys have no food, no water. Well, they're run low on food. They're running low on good quality water. Electric will be out for years, or months, not years. Medical conditions are even worsening there. Now, a lot of people will sit there and say, well, you know what? Trump's not doing that great of a job, which may be true. I don't know. But the bottom line is the difficulty of getting out there, folks. It's not easy. And it's easy to sit there and just criticize him. You know, one thing I've become skeptical on, the left criticizes him for everything, even if he sneezes. So now I really look into every criticism to see if it's legit. And sometimes it is, sometimes it isn't. On this one, I'm just not sure. You had the Jones Act. He finally got rid of that. You have, it's not like Texas or Florida where you can send 300, 1,000 FPL trucks down, supplies of food and everything, because it's an island. That's a little bit far away. You got to ship it all there. You got to fly it all there. They can't fly a lot there because the airport's in such such a mess right now. So you actually they're only taking charters with supplies of food like this and like agape. So it's not that easy. And the other thing too is maybe if the governor out there in Puerto Rico took better care of their infrastructure. I've been there. Their infrastructure is horrible. And that's because they don't have the money. Misuse and abuse. There's a lot of bureaucratic red tape, a lot of misuse and abuse out there. And because it was so horribly ran, I mean, they go for long times without electric on a regular basis. But because this guy did such a lousy job, now it's falling on Trump, and everyone's saying, oh, it's Trump's fault. Actually, it's yours. State should take control of this. Maybe Trump could do better, I don't know. But the state's got to bear some fault on this. And let's see. The next one is a library over there in Northport. This is a good thing. They just opened this library. I guess they're in dire need of it. I drove by it yesterday on my way down to that Port Charlotte show, and you can see it right off the Toledo Blade exit, but it's coming along just great. Will Smith, actually, I went to school with his wife, Fran, and the builder there. But they're excited down there in Northport. Let's take a quick listen.
Beth Collation is looking forward to this new partnership. There can be some trading back and forth between programs and support where we can serve, of course, the students, but also the general public.
So good things happening down there. I tell you what, Northport is going through so many changes. It's amazing. I've said this before with the Atlanta Brave Station, Westfield Village. What is that? 40,000 houses. You got the Lakewood Ranch style, what they're calling downtown area. You know, a lot of people come saying, why is he calling it why is he calling that area downtown? It's downtown Northport. I know this. I didn't call it. That's what the report said on WWSB. I don't know if they meant downtown for Westfield Village or downtown. This will be the new downtown once all these changes go through. Who knows what they meant with that report. So this is a good thing, okay? Then the shooting yesterday, you know, I was actually in Port Charlotte when this came out, and I played it, and they basically don't know anything on it. It was a green car, came by, started shooting at the park. Individuals ran. They're not sure what went down, what happened. Neither am I. I know that area. I believe I know it. It's mostly hardworking families that don't have a lot of money, and they're trying to survive. I actually used to live in Shackett Creek, which is a gated area right in that area. It was really weird. It was because if you've ever been in colonial area, it's a pretty poor area, people struggling. And then you had this Shackett Creek graded area with a few houses right there. And now, even though there are struggling families there are a lot of drugs there. I remember I was at the American Pantry right there, and got back from the gym. 4 individuals, 2 girls, 2 guys. They were just wearing shorts. You could tell they were obviously up all night, and I believe drugs were related. They asked for a ride, and I'm like, you know, I checked them out, made sure there was no way they could hide a gun. I had my gun. I didn't care. And I said, sure. So I gave them a ride, and they essentially live a couple blocks away from where I lived on Shackett Island. And I pull up to the house, and they got cameras everywhere. You could tell it's basically a drug house, but on the way, it was the strangest thing. I was propositioned. He said, hey, you know, if you want something, she's available back there. And I was like, yeah, nah, you know, I got to go home. But basically, she was prostituting. He was trying to prostitute the young lady out to me. So some bad things do happen there, unfortunately, in that area. All right, let's go on. This one, I put this out. It's a story. And that picture doesn't expand. But the Committee for a Better Florida, I kept seeing this advertisement on Facebook for Carlissimo and this guy, Charles Newsom. They're running for the Venice City Council. And so I started researching it, and I put up here, you'll see all the links to everything. It was well researched. And basically, this committee for a Better Florida is up in Jackson or Tallahassee. They're funded by Protect Our Liberty, which is largely funded by the Republican Party of Florida, and they're pushing Newsom and Carlissimo, which I thought was strange, especially since in Venice it's a nonpartisan race, right? And now, I did check, and according to some of the stuff I put, and again, I put the links down here, Carlissimo and Newsom are registered with the Republican Party. And I've always said this, when I ran, there is no nonpartisan, all right? I knew that Hollick was a diehard liberal. I mean, he signed off on the damn Pierce Accord, Mayor's Pierce Accord, after the president said we're not doing that. A lot of his initiatives are diehard liberal. I'm a libertarian, leaning to the right. Everybody knew that. The difference was I would tell people, he wouldn't. He hid behind it because he didn't want people to know his his beliefs, I guess, political beliefs, his political agenda. And there is no nonpartisan. I mean, it does amaze me. Now, do I mind that the Republican Party is in there? No, because I favor a lot of their beliefs. However, when it's nonpartisan, they shouldn't be in there. But you can't do anything to control this dark money. One of the biggest, they call him the Prince of Dark Money, is Robinson, who's on the school board. And he's in charge of a lot of PACs out here. And I wouldn't surprise if he's got some ties into that PAC, but you can't tell because each PAC basically funds the other. What I found out when I ran is how they can go out and do these different things without and skirt the laws that are out there. Like I was told, I remember Venice Firefighters Union covered me, and they gave me the most they could. I think it was $1,000. But on their own, they could go out and do robocalls if they wanted to. We never did that, but they could go out and do that if they wanted to. I found out, and I found out through different entities, you can go to a committee and they'll give you $1,000, and then they'll say, well, go to this committee and get another $1,000. And what they do is they loan that committee or give that committee $1,000. And it just bypasses all the political laws out there. So it's real sketchy. And, you know, that's why I knew I wasn't going to win, but I was trying to draw attention to all that, and somehow it got lost in there, and people thought it would be more funny just to say, aha, he's actually running and he's losing, blah, blah, blah. And they didn't get what I was trying to achieve there, unfortunately. All right, let's see. So attention on that. That's a race there in Venice. And one other thing that I noticed, I went by Jeff Boone's house, which is right here, and he's got Newsom signs too in his yard. Problem with Newsom is, A, Jeff Boone supports him. That's always a red flag. B, he was on the planning commission that unanimously, well, I think one person, unanimously pushed the proposed Venice comp plan, which is very, very, very pro-development. Jeff Boone is just giddy over it. And when you see stuff like that, you got to think, do you want him? I don't know this Newsom guy, but a lot of stuff does not look favorable for him. Let's see, the gopher. This one was in Venice. Wildlife is asking you to call them 888-404-3922 to find out who shot the gopher tortoise. They're a protected species here in Florida, and somebody shot them. You can turn in tips. If you go to my uncensoredreport.com, at the top right is a search bar. Just type in gopher or gopher tortoise, and this article will come up with all the specifics on where you need to go and everything about it, how to report it with the FWC. Hopefully they'll take better action with that than they did on Shark Boy, because as we all know, Shark Boy's fallen to the wayside. I think they said the assistant state attorney in Brington was going to bring charges in last month, mid-month. Nothing happened. Nothing ever heard from. This guy, Angel Pinheiro Melendez, I don't know if that's what you call him. He's still on the loose out there. They're looking for him. They said call 911. He's possibly in a stolen 2005 Dodge Dakota. I doubt he's stolen it, but he may be. Tags are Y88UWD. Basically, they said this guy is wanted for battery and grand theft. They were alerted to him back on Friday morning, and they've been looking for him. He's Hispanic, 5'7", 170 pounds, shaved head, as you saw in the picture. I believe the way they're sounding is he's pretty dangerous, and if you see him, you should contact the police immediately. So there you go. And that's on the page too. All this is on the page. Some concern here. Northport Police Department to team up with FHP, and I guess they've done this before, and it had a real negative vibe out there. Now, MPPD is saying, look, we only make $2 on this. We're not going to be going crazy. Our overall thing is just to ensure that we don't lose any more lives, because so many accidents and lives have been lost along that stretch. Whenever I drive it, like I said yesterday, I was driving from Venice down to Port Charlotte, and I thought of it. Now, one thing is the construction's all cleared up. That's a good thing. That was one of the issues out there. But they just want you to slow down. And they don't want to give tickets. Their goal is to save some lives out there. And it is pretty dangerous out there, guys, no matter what you think. All right. This guy robbed a 7-Eleven in Sarasota yesterday, and they're looking for him. Not a lot to go with. Look at that. He looks like an Antifa dude. Basically, they said it was on Lockwood Ridge around 6:30. If you saw anything, he was armed with a silver gun. They believe he's a black male in his early 20s. If you have any information, contact Crime Stoppers at 366-8477, or you can go to the website and do it anonymously. Just some follow-up stuff out here. The fire prevention, you could join the annual fire prevention open house over there on Beneva from 10 to 2 on October 7th. They got all kinds of neat stuff for kids that are taking place out there. Live fire demonstrations, hand-on fire extinguisher stuff. K9 will be out there. Bay flight trauma alert and photo opportunities. So good things for the kids out there. It is on a Saturday. I might try to go up there on that Saturday. The landfill, they're still open today. Today's Sunday, 8 to 5. Residential vegetative storm debris only is out there, and they're doing that to try to get the debris off the streets. This event is today too, October 1st, 9 a.m. to 2 p.m., so in 45 minutes it starts, and it's at the World Rolling Championship Wellness Expo, where they're giving free skincare prevention and screening event from Sarasota Memorial. They do that stuff all the time, so whenever you can get out there, it's a good thing. One last story was this one. I forgot to put it up. Is Bob's. Keep getting asked, and I noticed Bob Daniels said the same thing on email. And I don't know if it's because his website. He tends to live on my website a lot. The councilman asked, "What's up with Bob's?" And I was told this is what the city clerk wrote. And she said that they're opening between November and 15th, and it's waiting on the city council to approve the lease, which should be to sometime this month. But it's weird because the councilman, Bob Daniels, doesn't even know that it's waiting on them to approve. So, you know, is that accurate? I don't know. It could be. Maybe it's not accurate. Who knows? So that's it. Let me know if you prefer this format with the daily news report or if you prefer the live one. Again, I can do more visual. I can do more videos with this and all that good stuff. All right. And at one point, if I decide to upgrade to this, I'll be able to do this format live on Facebook. All right, this has been Frankie Abbruzzino with The Scoop News.